Common Sense Media activated.
Well, hello everyone. This is E. James, also known as Edge. Happy New Year, belatedly so. The crew and I have been busy and enjoying life, enjoying this break. We can't wait to jump behind the mics again and get back to our regularly scheduled programs, but that doesn't mean we weren't thinking of y'all. So earlier in the month, we all got together. There was food, drinks, laughs, love, family. Family. Because that's what we are. And the fellas and I decided, let's turn the mics on. And what was supposed to be just a quick little thank you chat turned into a 3-hour behemoth. But we're going to spare you that. What you're getting ready to listen to is the Wave of the Future portion of that. So, without further ado, enjoy. And thank you all for your patience, your love, and support. 2024 is going to be a special one. You'll see. Later. Live for 2024. It is the moment you've all been waiting for. Part 2 of the epic crossover. It's a chasm thing, baby. We got the return of Wave of the Future. After a month-long hiatus for the holidays, baby, we got Mr.
Trey M.
We got Mr.
Car.
And for you parental folks out there, we got
Rich.
From Dead Mode. And introducing a new wave. For those of you who like a little sports and entertainment, we got
The two-way.
Yes. It's gonna be a good time for all of you fine individuals. But before we get into the show, I just want to say thank you. We want to say
Thank you.
we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And without further ado, we're gonna get into it. So buckle up. Pay attention. Pour yourself a drink. Let's go. There's been a little drama lately. There's been a lot of drama, really. But we're going to focus on some specific drama. Mr. Feline Cat in a Hat. Oh, stop. Can't use that name because Disney apparently sent this man a cease and desist.
Oh, to not use it?
That is correct.
Ooh.
Cat Williams recently went on Shannon Sharp.
Club Shay Shay.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. His brandy, his cognac, it's actually pretty good. I had a bottle. I don't have it. I haven't had it in months.
Well, that sucks.
But it's fantastic.
Yeah, I had a sip of it. It was good.
It was very...
That's great for you guys.
Sorry, step on your foot there, sir. I want to talk about a few highlights. Now, Kat got on the podcast.
With a fully loaded clip.
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
What was he shooting?
Man, shots fired. Strays were caught. Everybody was in the crossfire. Steve Harvey,
Cedric.
Ricky
Kevin.
Smiley, Gary Owens.
The only one they had love for was Bernie.
Gary, no, we can't say
to a
go.
lesser degree.
Yeah.
Wanda Smith,
Tiffany
who else?
Haddish.
Khadish.
Yeah, Haddish, whatever.
Anybody else?
He mentioned
He went hard on Kevin
mentioned-
Hart, and I might just because they're the same size. But I'm not
So
sure.
he mentioned Martin Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, not. All right, go ahead. My bad.
No. You're fine. Go.
It all started with damn Ricky Smiley too, but yeah, go for it.
I mean, I think with Martin Lawrence, I love Martin. I don't know if anybody else here does.
Oh yeah.
And
Growing up.
I mean, yeah, he talked about the fact that when Martin went on the hiatus or whatever he was going through so many years ago, and he told Cat Williams, like, "I got you, man. I want you in my movies." You know, Cat's like, "All right, yeah, I got you, my dude." You know,
Because they were tight.
yeah, we're cool. And then of course, you know, they're going to do some buddy cop stuff. And then guess what? I guess the movie that he wants to do is Big Mama's House 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, or at least he's like, what? Big Mama's House 2? God,
Didn't you already do this? Like,
yeah. It's like, didn't you already do this? You want to keep dressing up as a woman? Like, I mean, if it sells money, or if it sells, if it sells, and it is what it is. But anyway, so of course he didn't do it. He had what's his name? Brandon T. Jackson, I think was what he said. Yeah. And he mentioned it a couple of times. Like, hey, and so they went and rolled with it. And I guess from my standpoint, you know, I mentioned this to E, and I put it through the chat. I think I put through a chat on, to the chat. I'm sorry. When it came to, I thought this was something interesting because we all love comedians.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We all love to laugh. That's part of what we love to do. That's something that helps us is to laugh. And to have one individual come through the rampage he did
And just air it out for everything.
like, wow. Like, that is something that is just like, is this going to change my perspective on certain individuals?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially in Hollywood and comedy. And like, you got to think about it, like what he said is echoing into a bunch of other podcasts in this whole thing. Like, we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
This is usually, honestly, not our lane.
yeah. Yeah, because we don't know what's true and what's not, but the way he went about things with the vigor that he did, like, damn, I want to believe him too.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, and it's amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. There were just since the aftermath of everything that's happened.
And I just don't like, at least for me personally, I don't like how it came across.
Like, yeah, it was a lot of malice.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate in that.
Yeah, it was just angry. And like,
And I
yeah,
love Cat Williams. Like, I love his comedy.
that's the way he's been though.
Yeah.
That's the way he's been though. Like, there's like some clip of him talking to some lady who's trying to tell him he got arrested a bunch of times. Have you seen that clip?
Yeah, he's unapologetic.
Yeah, he's like, no, I've had misdemeanors, not felonies. I've never been to this. Like,
Yeah.
only one of us is wearing $12 worth of jewelry, and just like he's just kind of mean like that.
Yeah.
He's very specific about what he's been charged with
Yeah,
or accused of.
yeah.
Accused
Like,
of.
he's got receipts for everything, and even
That's
then,
the
like,
thing.
it was like kind of sickening to hear that when he was talking about all this, like, he pays for information. Like, he just casually dropped that. He also casually
That
dropped,
was funny, right?
yeah. He
I
also,
say funny,
yeah,
but
like,
yeah.
it's just weird and like it's
Bring
also,
that information to me.
yeah. Like, I'll pay for it, and like
That's
the way he says, and
That's
like
a pit mentality.
yeah, it's honestly, yeah, it's like a very hustler kind of way to do that. But also, he just casually drops he's got like 5 kids, or no, 10 kids, like 10 girls and 10 boys.
he's got
some
more
adopted.
than 5.
Or 5 girls and 5 boys. And I was like, damn, dude, like, what do you
Boy
have the
got a
time?
whole fucking. Excuse me. He got a whole ball team though.
A whole bunch of Williams.
Broke.
I mean, it's, yeah, he said they were adopted, right? At least some of them were
I
adopted.
don't know, man.
Yeah.
Either way,
And-
I bet they're all his little spies getting information from all these other. Like, it's just weird. Like, but yeah, he chose Shannon Sharp's podcast, and then Shannon didn't really. I've never seen such a big man look small in front of a 5'5" like little
man.
dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, he just was, I guess, dealing with the blowback of him having his platform, because that's pretty much what Cat chose him for, because everybody that was on his podcast got called out.
Yep.
So it's like,
He felt like he could go on Shannon's podcast and tell his truth.
But I mean, he wasn't wrong. They
Yeah.
put it out. If you go on some other podcast, you can go do it and record it, and then they can bring it back and say, you know what? No.
yeah, but big on Shannon for putting it and publishing it out too, because it just didn't happen yesterday.
Shout out.
like, you know.
Yeah. To Uncle Shannon.
Yeah, and it was I didn't get to watch the 2 hour and 46-minute episode. You know, he can speak to that. He watched it.
There's just too much. It's too
I did.
conspiratorial. Like, it's just too much about X, Y, and Z actor and what they've done to quote sell their soul. It becomes like this whole spiritual battle. Like, it is just a lot of things.
Spiritual. Some may say conspiratorial.
Moral. Like,
moral.
it's like he's pretty much like he. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Nah, I was like, I think that's why Shannon was so quiet.
I'll tell you what. I'm just going to put it out there. I think I told you yesterday, 3 months, maybe 4 months from now, you're going to read
On TMZ. I don't want to
Cat Williams is no longer with us.
When you do things like that, that's the risk that you take. But one thing that I can give Cat for most of the things that he said, there's a lot of receipts, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have done the internet research after the fact and done side by side
put
videos.
The videos up there. So when you do that, and then somebody mysteriously disappears or something happens to them, it raises more questions. So if you're in the conspiracy mindset, what's more dangerous to keep your, quote unquote way of life going?
Keep your secrets.
Exactly. Do you let this person just branch out and say what it is? Or do you take them out and then have a lot more people asking questions and a lot more people doing digging?
So here's a thing from another guy that was like blackballed in the industry. Like, it's not related to like the industry as a whole, but he said something that I remember in like terms of relationships, like you got to act righteously for somebody to respect you. It's Patrice O'Neal.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so Patrice was like that, and he always spoke the way he felt, and I felt like a lot of people were like affected by this conversation because Cat spoke of this righteously. Like he did it in a de facto way where like it was truth. And we don't know.
We don't know if he read 8,000 books by the time he was like...
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He read like 3,000 books as a kid.
Cat in the Hat. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know like how deep he is with the 48 laws of power or whatever. But he just spoke on everything so righteously where people just really want to believe. And like, yeah, it's at the cost.
You can see the divisiveness on the web now.
Yeah. And he had interesting points to say about X, Y, and Z. Like Steve Harvey's like a family guy, I guess. Like, he's a very family oriented person. And
now
I love the way he says like, and then he married another woman who thought like a man as well. Like,
yeah. So here's, I will say this. I don't like how he talked about other men's wives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said like some
That was,
like light skinned, weird face women. Like, it was just crazy the way he said it. Like, yeah.
That rubbed me the wrong way.
And he says like 7 of them. Like,
talked about Kanye's. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, we all know. Well, whatever. I didn't like that. Like that rubbed me the
airing
wrong.
things out. Like,
Yeah.
Do you wish he would have handled it with more of a level of class?
Or not even.
Yeah,
touching
I
on
mean,
it. Like I did like what he said about Kanye to like the greater public that have put him up on a pedestal because he pretty much told the public like
it's your fault.
Yeah, you put him on a pedestal. You made him think these things.
Yeah, you made him. You told him he was a genius. You told him all these great things, and then verbatim, or is the word verbatim I'm looking for? He said, "We're looking at a man with a mental illness."
Yeah, like he's special needs.
Special needs.
Yeah, like the way he said it. Like you don't treat somebody with special needs. Like
So it's like, how are we holding this guy accountable? Now,
like that's a strong stretch for that.
it is, and I don't 100% honestly agree with the wording. I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
The wording is weak,
Yeah.
but the mindset is strong.
Yeah,
the
like-
mindset says, look, dude, he ain't playing with a full deck.
Yeah, it was like
So why are we treating this guy like he's playing with a full deck?
Yeah.
And then he says, wouldn't you grade him on a curve? And I'm like, sure.
or the same platform that brought him up is also bringing him down.
Right. You know, he talked about Kim just a tad.
Like crazy stuff
Just,
though.
yeah,
Like,
saying, hey, he chose her because certain
because of certain
certain
factors,
circles that you're trying to.
certain all roads that lead to Pete Davidson, pretty much. You know,
Not Skeet.
well, and right, and if she loses him, he was like, "What does that say about Kim?" As an aside, it's made me think about Kanye. The one line that stood out to me the most, he says, "I don't support, nor do I villainize Kanye." That statement, full stop, meant a lot to me because that's how I feel. College dropout, late registration, graduation.
Love the college dropout.
yeah.
You know, these were great albums. Kanye was always looked at like
Like the weirdo with the pink polo and the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right, but innovative.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where the 808s come through.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's where he put every producer on for like the next 2 decades. Like, yeah, like influential, you know, but to a fault.
Now, with someone like that, I, to a degree, agree. Like, this person is going through whatever it is they're going through, and we're watching it with popcorn, and we keep talking about it on Comedy Hype and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and allhiphop.com, Hip Hop DX, and CNN.
All those platforms. There's so many different platforms.
Now we're going big, right?
Yeah.
CNN, Fox News, you know, the major journalistic players, the entities, right? What I want to ask you guys is, do we need to take just him as an example? Do we need to take a step back and say, hey, you're not quite there. So we can't 100% hold you accountable for your actions because you need help.
I mean, I don't know. He didn't outright directly say mental health is important, but he also has some weird views about stuff. Like he brought up a lot of guys that played women, like in movies. He brought up like 3 different people.
Sure.
So I don't know if he's like a voice for the people for mental stability. But it does bring up a lot of different conversations. That's kind of interesting that we're transcending Cat Williams, airing it out to like other bigger pictures, which is cool.
Yeah.
When it comes to Kanye specifically, I really think it depends. I hate to say this, but it depends on the person because people come from all different places in mental stability. I don't know how else to really put that. And
I get that.
You know, so if it's something that you can see yourself in or you can understand how the operating system works, for lack of better words.
Yeah, for in his case, yeah.
You know, then you are going to put them in the platform or think they're in the right or listen to what they say on CNN or whatever they're on. For me as a fan, I'm a Kanye fan. I'm a hip hop fan. You can't be a hip hop fan and not appreciate Kanye. There's just no way to do it. I do,
Especially early on.
especially early. The groundwork for production and just you don't have a Drake without Kanye. There are things that don't come without those type of innovative people, whether it be for good reasons or bad. But I do think Kanye was just that innovative, and I think this is
it intersects with like the whole, like the way his mental health is.
I think it's a aiding factor in his mental health problems. Is you try to continually change yourself or be something different or do something different, sound a different way. Eventually, you may end up with
those problems.
A couple of different types of thought patterns or
loops
or voices in your head that think about things or deal with things in a certain way.
Yes.
So that to answer your question, I think that you will look at Kanye, or you will look at the mental health aspect of that rant that Mr. Williams went on in a way that you perceive yourself or perceive people around you,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hopefully it reaches out to people and think about like their community and like their versions of crazy people, or what they perceive are like the dramatic people, or like who they trust or who they have lost opportunities to. And yeah, this is one of those things where it's kind of paradigm shifting because it's such a public facing thing.
A lot of public
Yeah,
faces.
a lot of people, a lot of faces, like everybody reacting on their social, like talking
Yeah.
about, like, yeah, you got some,
Ludacris in the studio freestyling
Yeah.
over Devil in a New Dress to come back at it. Like, bro, you're not a rapper anymore. Calm down.
like just crazy, like, but it set the world on fire for this whole division, you know, of everybody that got called out and everything. So it's kind of,
January is already spicy.
I know, yeah, it's a blessing in disguise, really, because it gives you something to talk about. But damn, Cat Williams, like, hope you're good. Hope you can sleep at night, man.
Yo, yeah.
If you turn your
I'm not
phone
gonna
off-
lie to you. He looked.
He looked like disheveled. He looked like well, no, like he looked like very, I don't know how to say, like wired and out of it. Like he was just very passionate about the whole thing. So he stayed up, thought about what he was gonna say, and just like rattled it all off. Didn't give Shannon like really an in to do other than just react. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, what are you
He
saying?
took control of all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like
he
he
took-
just took it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that I just recently watched. It's a couple years old. Y'all seen Chernobyl, the miniseries?
Yeah, I love that thing.
So the beginning of that, where the guy is talking and recording his tapes, and he's very infactual about what's going on,
Yeah.
and he knows he's at the end of something.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of how Cat Williams is in this
Oh,
episode.
like without remorse.
Yeah,
like,
there's no remorse. Like, there's no fear of consequence.
yeah, because it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
So let me bring
And bring all this to light.
to light. Exactly. Let me bring all this to light.
Damn,
kinda
I like
deal.
that comparison.
Like, I know it's like very like off the wall.
No,
it's
but
weird.
it's
but,
perfect.
But
It's
that's
like-
how I kind of see
It
it.
is perfect.
That's exactly how I kind of see it. Dude's he got his one of the last platforms that he's probably gonna get.
yeah, for a while. Like
I don't think he's not gonna be on HBO. He's not gonna be on Netflix. You're not gonna see Cat Williams.
He's going to be in
might.
Austin.
Yeah, he is still coming. He is still coming.
yeah, he's probably gonna do that in casinos and everything like a normal comedian
but
should and would.
It's
you know?
not gonna be.
not gonna be on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
It's just not gonna be as big time as it was. So hey, let me air out what I have to say, and whatever comes.
The promo around that will be interesting,
Yeah.
if there's any.
Because maybe
that's
his whole tour, like maybe he's hyping up a tour.
I didn't think about that aspect. That is a hell of a way to generate
Infamous,
promo.
yeah.
Let's go see him.
So we could talk more about this.
this,
Yeah.
so we can continue this conversation. That is
Yeah, just airing
an
it out every night.
ingenious way
Yeah.
of
Hope it's not
generating promo for a new tour. So maybe it could come from that aspect.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
he's
mean,
just
why
trying to
not?
sell tickets. Like you said, Steve Harvey was trying to do on the King of Comedies tour in Detroit or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, he also masks it with like these crazy bold statements like the devil doesn't do anything for his people and not even bless them. And like he just brings this whole spiritual element into
Yeah.
it. And like just makes you like think about stuff in a weird way. And like it's sensational. That's the thing. It's like so juicy.
A part of me thought that at least when it came to the interview, Kat was like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm about to do. And he just went and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, at least from a production standpoint, I guess what I'm understanding was Shannon had like some list of questions.
Yeah, he was
and what
shuffling and couldn't,
We do a
couldn't get his
podcast.
foot in.
Yeah.
That's what we do. You bring people on. Okay, this is the agenda.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna follow. And Cat was
So
like,
during
I
that
don't think so.
moment, I mean, at least I was just thinking of this, like during that moment of, okay, hey, Kat, we're going to talk about this. Was there any point where Kat was like, F that, I'm just going to go and just do it?
I think that's
That was
exactly
a
how
whole
that went.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm listening one ear and out the other, but you know what? I'm going to go because the tape's rolling, right?
It was a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like tape's rolling, so I'm just going to keep going and keep going and keep going.
And that's how I can tell that it was not something that Shannon had planned or something, because it was so one-sided. In what I've seen, it was Cat took it over, and that's where like I said at the beginning, where I applaud Shannon Sharp and his
Letting it
media
still come out.
team,
Yeah.
to let somebody completely hijack
Yeah.
your episode and still put it out. A lot of people are like,
kind of
nah,
did.
man.
But what are they saying though? It was like 10 million in a day, like views.
He said like
Yeah.
11 million.
It's probably
views.
his highest.
Dude, it
viewed
was a
episode.
lot.
Yeah. People are watching that and they're watching it over and over and they're dissecting it.
Yeah.
And then they're watching it and pulling
creating
receipts. and-
creating content.
Exactly.
Out of it. Like, yeah.
It's
I can't tell you how many times I read in the comment section people who said, I've watched this twice, 3 times. Doesn't even feel like 2 hours and 40 something minutes. And I was like, it's true. It goes by quick.
Yeah, it just hits you like like a crash course. Like
He
a cram.
dropped truth bombs and nuggets. Well,
What we think.
I'm gonna
his
keep
truth
saying. I'm
bombs.
gonna. Yes, I was gonna say. I'm gonna say his truth.
It's how we believe it, though. It's how we all perceive it. Just picking it up off the phone or the audio or whatever. Like it's crazy.
doesn't shake me though. I don't think there was a lot of
A lot of new information.
misinformation.
Doesn't matter information.
No, I just
Oh yeah.
doesn't matter. It depends on how you live your life.
So does it matter, I guess, from a viewer standpoint of what you feel about everybody that he talked about?
Depends on how you view those people. I think if you put those people up on pedestals and platforms, and then something like this comes, and it can be a rock, an asteroid dropping in and shaking your core. If you are a person who's level-headed and it is what it is, and they're going to say these things, and you're going to be like, yeah, it could be true, it could not, but you know.
So let me ask you. So this is what I'm trying to ask.
Okay.
Carr, does this change how you feel about Cat Williams? What just happened? Does this change how you feel about him?
Nah, not really. He's always had a voice.
Okay. What about you?
A little bit, yeah.
Trey.
I actually think I have a little bit more respect for Cat Williams after this.
Okay.
Like I said, just respect for him as a person. I think that I feel like to go out there, whether it's on a limb or on a
With an
rant,
agenda or something.
or you
like-
know, to go out there and put yourself in a position like that, it takes a certain amount of cojones. It just does.
Yeah. What about you, E?
I like cars. No, I'll mess with you.
I'm like, you like cars like him, or you like?
no, he's okay. Does it change my perspective?
About Cat Williams? Like, you thought of a way of him, now you feel this way about him.
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, well, I don't think negatively of him.
Yeah, like that doesn't change. It's just, it's predictable that he's unpredictable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
Like, dude's not like an uncontrollable loose cannon, but he'll say what he feels.
I think Carr and I talked about.
I remember we saw a video of him getting beat up by a teenager. So there's
Right.
there's a lot of different
Yeah.
there's a lot of different dimensions to this guy.
But you and I talked about not Cat, but we talked about something in this lane within the last month, and as an artist, the comedy's hilarious. As a person, pretty funny. Obviously, as a comedian, he's very funny.
Usually comedians have like a very deep sense of things around them.
Comedians have the task of taking the everyday, the mundane, the normal stuff, and trying to find what's funny in that. What's funny, a lot of the times, is what's relatable.
Yeah.
Or something that, even if you can't 100% relate, I can see it.
Yeah, and this is so dark and left field that it's a little weird just to hear that there's
this isn't a comedy special.
this is something else. Like
Absolutely.
this is what do they call those, like exposés or whatever?
But yeah, there you go. That's a good way to. Yeah.
So I got one more question. I don't know if you finish. You answer your question, Max. Yeah, you answered it to a degree, right?
I mean, yes, I did, but it's tough because I just don't feel like anything's necessarily changed with me and Cat Williams. I just feel like, okay, you've said your piece.
Other than he thinks he's going to be dead in 3 months.
Yeah.
Right.
I do. I mean, honestly, guys, I do. Well, 3 months might be an exaggeration, but I just feel like the way he presented himself.
Yeah, we're not going to hear from him like that ever again.
Right.
Like he may not be in a comedic space. Yeah,
With the information he gave us, the way he presented information.
He's
I'm
gonna get
very
written
big
off.
on body language. If you watch it, go back and watch. Even in the 5-second clips, right? Let's say 5 seconds, but a minute. So for those of you who can't see, Rich is on my left, Carl's on my right, Trey's in front of me. I'm talking to Trey, right? You're the host, asking the questions. He'll say a thing that's controversial, but then he's like, he's looking around. Yeah, he's looking around the room, and he's like,
Trying to gauge the reaction and how.
right. And he's always
He's working the room.
answer your question. Could be that I answer your question, but then I'm like looking just when there's no words being said, like, how many of you are
Or in this.
period?
And I think that has something to do with the
It's a comedian.
one-way side of the conversation.
So let me ask you guys this. What if Cat Williams said something about your favorite comedian?
To who?
Chappelle, to whoever you like, to Bernie Mac,
What's
to
the
Eddie
thing?
Murphy.
So I have prior knowledge of comedians. They're all messed up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all dark souls.
Absolutely.
Nobody's perfect. Like, man, like they all had demons. Like that was news to me when I was a kid when I found out that like Richard Pryor had like bad drug problems. Same thing with George Carlin. Like
Oh, he
they're
got
all
burnt
flawed
up.
human beings. Yeah, he got burnt. He like immolated himself. Like there's a bunch of stuff like that I didn't know as a kid. And when I got older, I realized that they just weren't funny, good people. They were just funny, flawed people.
Yeah.
But that's if you have prior knowledge of what
Bars.
comedy is, right?
For me, just to answer your question, if it would have been like one of my favorite comics that he shed light to, it just depends. At seeing the aftermath on how everything's gone, if the receipts start to get pulled, then the receipts start to get pulled. There's nothing you can really do about that other than see what's going on and be like, you know what, he wasn't wrong. What he said actually happened, and then you have to take that into consideration. A lot of people these days, they say things for the clout or for the views, and it doesn't turn out to be exactly true.
He didn't sell anything. He didn't have anything to promote. He just said stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen, like we were talking earlier, the Cedric the Entertainer bit. You felt like that wasn't biting. I felt like that was a bite. You take the same concept and twist some words around, you're biting something. The thing he said about Steve Harvey and how the reason he stopped doing stand-up was because he went to him and went on his show, and next thing you know, the receipts come out and there's somebody with you can tell it's like an old school video recorder or whatever.
Yeah.
But everything that he said is actually being said during that comedy show. So what do you know, if that's my favorite comedian, if I love Steve Harvey, what do you think about that? Steve Harvey, after that, what did he turn into? He turned into a
family show host,
TV show, family show host with no hair. Like things changed after that. So there's some truth in that, and you just have to be, as a person, like, he might be right.
I don't know. There's a thing called a parasocial relationship, and we all have them. That's just with the people that we follow on social media and like our celebrities and stuff. So if your parasocial relationship is unhealthy with something, that's going to rock your world and change your fundamental worldview. But if they're just, somebody on your phone that you laugh at or whatever, like, it shouldn't really bother you. They're not paying your bills. Like,
Yeah, I've always thought about that myself is if something, I guess it all depends on what is being said. Right?
Like, if it was something heinous, like where they hurt a human being,
Like say, like R. Kelly, right?
Yeah,
I'm only going, I'll throw an example out there. Like I used to love R. Kelly, love his music. You know? I know, but anyway, another subject. But if there's something like that were to happen to a person I would feel a certain type of way against them because of the fact that, hey, this isn't in my morals. So if, say, for instance, somebody said that, hey, this person is an atheist, I'm gonna be like, I don't rock with that. So That's just my personal. I've always wanted, just going through this, I was like, man, like,
you
how
could
do I feel
choose.
about this?
Yeah, you always have a choice to follow who you want to follow or whatever, right? It's just it becomes unhealthy when it like really affects your worldview.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
That's
stop,
the thing.
Stop buying the merchandise. Stop getting this. Like, stop getting the product placement stuff. Like, just cut it off because it's not really like you're just putting money in their pocket. And
Yeah.
are they paying your bills? Or are they like making you a better person? Like,
I still
That's
hate
celebrity worship, man.
yeah.
That's,
Celeb worship is like the silliest thing you commit as an adult.
They run the world, man.
Yeah, I will say, I this is the last thing I'll say about it. I just hate when he was talking about other people's wives.
A little weird.
I hate that. Like that.
Talking about how ugly they were.
Yeah. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, that's the reason where you were talking about if he ain't gonna live for a certain amount of time.
it's about talking
that's
about
probably
somebody's
gonna
wife.
be, yeah. That's gonna be the reason why. Like, you don't do that.
Fortunately, the people that he was talking about, I don't think they would come to bat for their wives like that. Is that a bad thing to say?
Doesn't matter. It's just a moral thing. You don't
I
talk
get what
about
you're-
anybody's wife like that.
You don't talk about somebody's wife. I do completely. I'm a married man. I completely agree with that. You talk about, but with me, you talk about my wife, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Sorry, excuse
boom.
my
No, literally, I
excuse
would-
my language, but
Yeah.
that's how that kind of boils down to.
The show's been canceled, ladies and gentlemen. We're done.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just why I want my thing I want to say about it.
Cat told his truth, what he believes to be right. We have seen various video clips that kind of support
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
They've gotten a kick out of it. Made the workday more enjoyable.
Right.
We're also not in the know of everything.
So yeah,
Watch them all.
Yeah, you think about stuff that you saw on Comic View and dudes that you saw and like it's all like running through your head and like, oh, that guy? Like, yeah.
He didn't ask me to party, so I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, shout out to Cat Williams. Hope you're safe.
Yeah.
Hope you got a safe house.
Yeah.
For real. That's the name of the game, man.
But this year, like they're all saying on the comments of that video, it's the year of truth, right? So
Hey.
Every year should be.
It's one
There
way
you
to
go.
kick off 2024. That's for, I
Yeah.
love it.
That's what
I'm here
saying.
for it. I'm here for it. It's all dramatic and it's all this and that, but
Yeah.
damn if it didn't start with a bang,
Hey.
He came out guns
Akimbo.
blazing.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon is doing a great job of allowing people to speak their minds, whether one agrees, whether one doesn't, whether one is indifferent and is trying to toe the line in a safe space. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the perspective, and it was a good listen. I mean, I usually never listen to podcasts that long. I've been a Joe Rogan podcast fan for a while. When he went to Spotify, I don't have Spotify, so I'm like, I guess I won't hear it all. But even when he was on YouTube, his videos for me were too long.
Yeah, they go on.
I'm like, oh my God, we're already.
If it's with Joey Diaz, like it's
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, come on, man, we're 3 hours into this. What are you talking about anymore? Like, this is just dead air to me.
I'll say, I'll finish off with this. I'm glad I didn't see this on DJ Vlad.
Well, give me a second here. Give me a second. Yeah, that too. Screw that guy. I'm glad it flowed.
Mm-hmm.
It flowed well. And to what Carr was saying, yeah, DJ Vlad, gosh,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
yes.
So let's all be thankful Shannon Sharp's not DJ Vlad.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Don't look it up on YouTube. It'll
Okay.
end up forever in your feed.
Never listened to DJ Vlad?
You should.
No.
You'll see Freeway Ricky Ross talk about everything and Boozy.
D.L. Hewley's on there often.
Yeah, dude. Like there's just certain dudes that he talks to. It's like
People
so
that
tell-
like to talk.
and it's all controversy stuff. So but yeah, but that's not.
And DJ Vlad, it just isn't a cool name. He's a Russian dude.
He's a hip hop guy.
He's a hip hop Russian dude
He reminds me of the dude from GTA 4, the
who,
protagonist.
who gets brothers to come
Roman,
on
his
the air
cousin?
and snitch on
Or the other one,
themselves.
or Nico.
Nico.
Yeah. All right, fellas. It's about that time.
That was fun.
Yeah. It was Very fun.
We hit dad mode. We hit the two-way. We hit WFS.
Yeah.
This is what we do here at Common Sense Media. All the shows come together. We make the epic crossover. We unite the shows. We bring to you things like this. If you enjoyed this, please let us know at Common Sense Media on Instagram, at Common Sense Media on Twitter. Respective shows, WFS on X. I said Twitter, didn't I?
Same thing.
On X is,
Oh, you got Mr. Marshall on mics.
well, that's the person who's on WFS.
I didn't know. You pointed at me, dude. I was a little lost.
WFS show.
I was a little lost. You pointed at me, and I was like, what's my X?
Okay, I'll do it. All right. At Dad Mode Pod on all the things.
Yeah.
At WFS Show on X or at Wave of the Future everywhere else. The two-way is so new that we don't have any medias of the socials.
We're just dipping the toes into that one, man.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
Stay
It's coming.
tuned. We'll figure that out. And when we do, you'll know the things. Thank you so much for listening. This has been great.
Fun.
That's good.
Appreciate everyone.
And with that, as always, we're going to say
Bye.